Hey everyone, Morgan here. So in this third installment of the Situational Awareness series, I'm going to be talking about strategically placing ourselves, our car, our things, just so we can increase our situational awareness and overall security and safety, right? So the very first thing I want to talk about is strategically placing our items. I don't know if you've ever seen people sitting somewhere, but they have like their bag and they're kind of leaning forward like this and their phone or whatever the case may be, right? They have their bag or purse or whatever it is off to the side. What you never want to leave your stuff out of your sight, okay? You want to have your stuff basically within your clutches the entire time. Even having it within your sight, sometimes it's not enough. If you do have some sort of like bag or something, some sort of roller bag or suitcase or something, just put it underneath the seat. But do make sure that somebody behind you couldn't very easily just come up under the seat and pull it out or get it behind them, right? But anyway, if you have a purse or a backpack, I would highly suggest either hooking it to yourself like this, so that it's at least making it a little more difficult for somebody to grab and run. Or like if you have a purse, just put it in your lap like this. If you have like a sling purse or any kind of purse that goes over your shoulder, put it around the other shoulder so that it's nice and strapped and connected to you at all times, so that again, it's not as easy to grab and run. And if you even want, you can take your backpack and just straight up put it on and just leave it on. Especially if you're in a seat, you can lean back, to release some of the pressure on it or whatever. But never leave anything out of your sight. This is especially important, like if you're in a grocery store and you have a lot of people put their purse or bag in the actual cart, and then they'll look away for a second, and that leaves ample opportunity for somebody to just boom, take it right out of the cart. Try to keep your stuff on your person at all times, especially like cell phones and things. Have them in your pocket and have them somewhere that they're not easily able to grab and take them. Next, I want to talk about sitting in a restaurant, bar, whatever, okay? Not every single person needs to be facing the door, okay? Only one person needs to be kind of like in charge of like facing the main entrance of the building from your restaurant or whatever. If you can't see the main entrance of the building, it's a really good idea to at least have eyes on the windows and or at least the general main entrance area. There might be like back rooms and things like that, but you want to have eyes on the general main entrance area where the majority of people come in through that main entrance. Again, not every single person needs to be facing the front door. Only one person needs to have the responsibility of facing that front door. And all you'll be doing is just casually looking at people coming in and out, continue your conversation, continue enjoying your meal, and just, be situationally aware of your surroundings and casually be looking around at everyone, smiling, being nice, but making everyone aware that you're aware. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is strategically parking. So what I want you to do whenever you go out anywhere and at home, I want you to be backing into your driveway or backing into the space and or pulling through the space, so that if you ever have to make a quick getaway, you simply get in your vehicle and you just drive away. That's it. That's all there is to it. You're not having to get into your vehicle and back out of the space. You're getting into your vehicle, starting it up, and simply driving away. When it comes to walking around with children, especially in urban environments, I want you to keep something very important in mind. I want you to always have them on the inside of you. And what that means is if there are cars on this side, the child needs to be on this side. This is being aware that there are fast-moving vehicles over here, right? This is being aware of the potential dangers for you and your child. This is being aware that your child is rambunctious and, squirrel, distracted, right? This is being aware that things happen in a blink of an eye, and we need to be aware. Teach your children to stop at crosswalks. Teach your children to, hold on to the basket. Teach your children to hold your hand. Okay? This is all being strategic to be safe with your children and everything around you. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is putting your children into the vehicle. We want to be as strategic about this as possible. Unfortunately, there's really no ideal or perfect way to put your child in their car seat. If they can buckle themselves in, that's great. My 3-year-old can do that. I just let her in, I close the door and she buckles herself in. But if you still have a small child who still needs assistance with buckling, there's really no ideal way to do this. First of all, before you even get to your vehicle, take a real quick survey around. As you're walking out of the building to your vehicle, you're looking around, you're kind of surveying the area, you're looking at the people, you're looking at the cars, you're just kind of looking around, right? Just seeing what's going on, right? Okay, so after that point, what you're going to be doing is once you get the car door open and you're assisting your child into the seat, you're going to be just casually looking around, but you don't want to look just one way. You need to be looking everywhere. Your head doesn't need to be on a constant swivel like, oh my gosh. But you need to be getting your child in, okay? Take a look, take a quick look, get your child in, take another look, walk around, do your thing, right? It needs to be a very smooth process, but you just need to be having that third eye, essentially, right? All parents have that third eye, and we just need to be consistently looking around. When you're walking in urban areas, use mirrors to your advantage. You can see a lot, from behind, hello, or in front. Mirrors really help you. This is especially important when you're in your car as well, because the mirrors can really help you to see, kind of what's going on behind you. Take out your selfie camera. Hey, pretend you're taking a picture and look at somebody behind you. Who is that, right? Just taking a picture. If you wear makeup and have a little mirror, touch up your makeup, right? Use mirrors and windows to your full advantage. Whenever you're out and about, I want you to make a little game with you and your family, or just yourself, and name how many exits you can find. Windows, things that are not necessarily marked as exits, warehouses, like in the back of all grocery stores, there's a big, place where they store the extra food and all that. That leads to a back exit, an entrance and exit where the trucks load and unload, okay? So that is a potential exit. There are other exits that may not be marked as emergency exits, but they could be a way out. If you ever are in a store and you're looking around, or you have to stop and look at your grocery list or whatever the case may be, try to put your back up against the aisle, a wall, whatever the case may be. Putting your back up against it gives you clear vision of everything that is happening around you, okay? And keep your cart next to you as well. Keep your children in your cart, or keep your children as close to you as possible. The last type of strategic placement is another vehicle. When it comes to strategically driving, we need to think of a couple things. First, we need to keep in mind how easy it's going to be for us to escape a certain situation. Never get so close to another vehicle, whether stopped, driving, whatever, that there is no way that you can get out. Always give at least, one or two, preferably 2 car lengths in front of you when you are driving, and then at least 1 car space in front of you when you are stopped. This allows you to easily get out, if you are potentially stuck. Try to stay in a right or left lane and try not to get stuck in that middle lane unless you have to be in that middle lane, like you're going to be turning soon or whatever the case may be, right? But always give yourself plenty of room when you are driving. You never want to box yourself in with other drivers. If the person behind you is boxing you in, that's whatever. At least you're giving yourself enough room in front and you're not boxing yourself in. Finally, whenever you're inside the vehicle, and let's say you're sitting here with the windows up, doors locked, right? Somebody comes up and they're kind of waving to you, right? Talk through the glass, especially if you have no idea who they are. Even if they're a police officer, even if they're someone of authority, okay? They have a badge, whatever. Either crack it just a tiny bit or talk through the glass. Ask for their badge, identification, the reasoning, whatever it is. Never roll your window all the way down. This gives them easy access to you straight through that big, beautiful hole that you just created for them, right? Again, we want to make it extremely difficult for people to get access to us. Okay, last thing I want to talk about is social distancing. It's actually not a bad idea, especially when it comes to being strategic about how we are placing ourselves between people. If you ever talk to somebody or you're ever with somebody, let's say the vehicle is somebody else, I have at least 1 arm's length plus between me and that person, even to the side, whatever, right? I have at least 1 plus arm length. Okay, that's what you want for most people. This is not a bad distance to talk to somebody. Hey, how's it going? What do you need? Okay, this is a good distance. You never want to be so close to somebody that you can feel their breath on your neck, right? You really don't. You want to keep that distance from people, especially from strangers, because you never know how they're going to react. A friendly conversation could turn into, something else, just like that. Whenever you're talking to somebody, always make sure that you're watching their hands, you're watching their facial movements, you're watching how they're twitching and moving, you're watching to see if they're getting nervous, to see if they're getting angry. You are watching their nonverbal signals. This is extremely important part of situational awareness. I'm going to cover all sorts of nonverbal signals in part 4 of the Situational Awareness series. Thank you all so much for watching. Conquer tomorrow by preparing today. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.